Here we have the russet potato that we're going to make twice baked potatoes with. I'm going to take you through the process, the ingredients that are commonly found in your kitchen on a daily basis here. So let's get started with the procedure, how to make them. First, we're going to take the russet potato and we're going to actually cut it in half lengthwise. Okay, this is one of your potatoes that has already been fully baked off. There could be a leftover from baked potatoes yesterday. So we're going to cut it in half, and always keep in mind you're going to cut just a bit of the bottom off so it'll set level on the plate and on the sheet tray. See how we've got that set in level. Next, we're going to take the insides. You never want to throw any of the potato away. You're actually going to put it into a mix here. What I'm adding into is a mix with the basic American potato. So we're going to actually use an instant potato here because you never will have enough of the real potato to make the full twice baked mix. So now that we've added that in, I'm going to show you a list of the common ingredients that you're going to find in your kitchen. We're actually going to be using sour cream. Sour cream is going to keep them very moist, give them a nice flavor. We're going to be using a shredded cheddar cheese. We're going to be using a Parmesan cheese. That's going to be for flavor to help, but also to help tighten the potatoes up. We're going to be using a wonderful farmland bacon. This you're going to want to chop it rough. It can be a rough chop, but it's got to be very small to keep in mind it's going to be piped out through a piping bag. We'll talk about that later. We're also going to be using some green onions. Whether you have chives in the kitchen or green onions, either one works fine, but also again keeping in mind they need to be chopped small. Eggs, we're going to use eggs in the potatoes as well. The eggs actually hold the potatoes, they tighten them together. The egg whites actually keep them fluffy when they go through the oven. They keep them from falling down into your potato, and the egg yolks actually help to brown them. So we're actually going to just combine all the ingredients together. So I have some potatoes here ready to go that we are mixing our real potatoes in with our instant potatoes. Again, you will have to decrease the amount of liquid with the instant potatoes to take into account the liquid ingredients that are being added to this. So let's start adding. Okay, we're going to put our green onions in here. We are going to add our shredded cheddar cheese. We are going to add our farmland bacon. This is a wonderful cherry wood smoked bacon that's going to add nice flavor. We're going to add our sour cream. Very simple. I'll tell you what, these common ingredients, you're just simply going to add it all in and mix it up. We're going to add our Parmesan cheese again. That's going to keep it tight. We're going to add our eggs. And again, don't ever forget salt and pepper to taste. You must have salt and pepper in here. So now that we have our ingredients in here, now it is going to be a simple mix. We're just going to take all this and mix it up, get it well blended. This can be done in a mixer if you're doing large quantities, or if you're doing small quantities, it can be done by hand. So as we get this all well blended in here together and tightened up, now we're going to start the process of piping the potatoes and filling the potatoes. Here we have the mix totally combined. It's well blended and it's ready to go to start piping into the potatoes. So here I have a mix that I have made up that is well rested. It is actually cooled. One thing that's actually nice to do is if you can allow the time for your potatoes to cool down and tighten up as well to get into your piping bag. One of the most important tips I can give you with the piping bag is you notice the star tip. The star tip makes it look very nice, and it actually is a number 9 tip that I'm using. The number 9 allows the right size to get the potatoes piped through without products getting stuck in the bag. Remember we talked about the bacon being chopped, the green onions being chopped small enough? That's so they don't get stuck in the star tip. So let's go ahead and fill our bag, and we're going to start filling our potatoes. So now that we have our potatoes ready to go, we are actually just going to start getting them into our piping bag right here. We're going to get this all nice and full. and be ready to start piping. Okay, now one thing that's good to do, as you see, we've got the potatoes in it ready to go. It's always good to squeeze out to get out some of that air. You're going to have some air in there, so always squeeze a little bit out. Now that the twice baked mix is ready to go, let's grab our potatoes, let's get piping, okay? Now, as I showed you one alternative earlier to a russet potato, let me show you another alternative to a red potato that's commonly found in the kitchen as well. I'll tell you what we'll do with the red potato, very simple. We're gonna cut the bottom off on each side, so it holds steady. We're going to take either a spoon. I have a melon baller that I like to use, but a soup spoon will work just well. Again, you're going to scoop this out as well. And we're going to hollow out the potato so we can pipe both. The red potato just is a nice alternative to an entree that gives a color appearance and gives a height appearance. So now that we have these done, let's show how we're going to pipe these out. When you pipe, a nice circular motion. If you're doing a red potato, you're just going to fill the potato in and come up in a circular motion, almost like doing an ice cream cone. It's going to be very similar too. As we do a russet potato, we're going to do a swirl back and forth. I like to hold the potato with one hand to keep it from rocking back and forth. And again, as you can see, a swirl motion that comes back and forth. That's what fills our twice baked potato. Now let's get them in the oven. Here we have the finished product, a wonderful twice baked potato, roasted pork loin, and fresh broccoli. A dinner your customers are sure to enjoy. Look for this recipe and others on the Martin Brothers website. And thank you very much for joining us here. Again, I'm Steve with Martin Brothers. We'll see you next time. We hope you enjoyed our cooking tips, techniques, and recipes here at Martin Brothers. For any questions and additional recipes, visit martinsnet.com.